I will start with the Daily Graphic. Now, on the front page of the Daily Graphic comes with a photograph of the two who are battling for supremacy, Charles Opoku for the NPP and James Jachikwason for the NDC. And it says, battle for supremacy, Akufo-Addo Mahama storm Asin North. Bawumia cut sword for construction of Ability Village. 3 Dabuasi students drown after swimming. Graphic MD receives Outstanding CEO Award. Comes with a photograph of the MD for the Graphic Communications Group Limited at WAFO. Right. Oh, and it's the last one here that says President joins world leaders at financial summit.
Okay. Now, the Ghanaian Times has these headlines. It says here, Ewusijo floods. Ewusijo floods. It says over 5,500 rendered homeless as displaced residents appeal for support. Now, Asin North by-election will be peaceful, devoid of casualties. Ignore NDC's violence plans. We have NPP NDC wrap-up campaign. This is in the same conversation about the Asin North by-election. We have here the Macallan showcases commitment to West Africa's most influential elites. And those are the headlines on the front page of the Ghanaian Times.
Now moving on to the Finder, Opoku will serve better. Nana Addo rally support for NPP candidate. Dr. Bawumia cut sword for 9,000 homes Ability Village to care for 69,000 persons with disability. Now, YEA graduates 500 prisons office assistants. Dr. Bawumia commissions 31.2 kilometer Asin Praso Asin Fosu Road.
Yeah. All right, we have the Daily Guide. Now, on the front page of the Daily Guide, there are these headlines here. It says, slain, Majua buried. Yeah, you know that story, that unfortunate incident that happened a few weeks ago. NPP vibrates as Joe Gate files for flag bearer. We have Chachu's allegation against AG irrelevant. This is coming from the court. And Bawumia cuts sword for PWD's Empowerment Center, and Accra roam to promote arts, culture, education. Those are headlines on the Daily Guide.
Now moving on to the Chronicle. VIP Bawumia lays foundation for massive STEM projects for PWDs, that's persons living with disabilities. I'm not scaring Jachikwason is the law dealing with him. This is attributed to the president. I will be among 5 best candidates. This is Joe Gate speaking. Kuka honored by GJA. And the scripture for today, Proverbs 8 verse 7. For my mouth will utter truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips.
Yeah, the Herald newspaper has these headlines here. It says, thousands expected at Bishop Herman Old Boys Games on July 8th. Thousands expected. Plots to remove tough judge on Opuni, Agongo case uncovered. Akufo-Addo's underperformance endangers NPP MPs as police rescues Atrema Nwabeja South MP from angry constituents. And vote sellers or men and women of honor. All eyes on Asin North constituents.
And now to the BNFT, Business and Financial Times. Investment potentials to magnify as GSE joins African Stock Exchange Coalition. AGI cautions against removal of taxes on imported sanitary pads. Now in some great news, $5 billion. Oh wow, $5 billion local honey industry at risk as climate change chemicals hinder production. Deliberately orchestrate enterprises to drive development. This is according to Chief Andani. Also on the front page, shareholders applaud EcoBank's 2022 financial performance, and UBA partners after invest $6 billion to finance SMEs in Africa.
Please, the
AGI?
Yeah, what's the headline again?
It says AGI cautions against removal of taxes on imported sanitary pads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so if I go in a little bit, it says the Association of Ghana Industries is cautioning against any policy measure that seeks to remove taxes on imported sanitary parts at the expense of locally produced ones. It warned that such a move will be very detrimental to the economy, much as the waiver of duties, taxes on imported sanitary pads for young women to make the pads more affordable may sound good. This will only end up completely wiping out the few local sanitary pad factories left in our country. Therefore, the association is of the view that a call for removal of duties on imported sanitary pads is misplaced. Well, so you can get details of these.
So I have a basic problem with
Yeah.
their position. Why won't you call for removal, number one, removal of all taxes on the raw materials that are used to produce locally made sanitary pads, right? Call for that. And then call for subsidies and subventions that will allow you to produce at much lower cost locally. Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, the question we always ask ourselves is that what's the end goal? What are we trying to achieve at the end?
Yeah.
We're trying to get more girls in schools to be able to afford very easily and cheaply and most affordably, sanitary pads. And so when we remove taxes from things like condoms, which are a matter of choice, right? I mean, to have sex is a choice, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah. So, but to have your period is not a choice.
No.
So for me, I mean, the whole argument is like somebody is not thinking
Look, I
through
mean,
everything.
it's just basic.
Somebody's
Because for
not
me,
thinking through everything.
this whole tax removal, I don't think will solve the problem, because we are in this country when we're buying Gary for 7 cities, 8 cities for an Olunka. Now, when we heard that COVID came and then movements were going to be restricted, it skyrocketed to about 40 cities, 20 cities, and the likes. So we are our own enemies. Look, if we take off the taxes, it will not change anything.
You don't think
we
so?
are in this country.
What's the solution then?
For me, I think that local companies must be empowered. Government should be able to deal with local companies, maybe buy it off, from local companies, and then make it affordable, distribute it to, let's say, school children, and then for those of us who can buy, let's have a different conversation. But just taking the taxes alone.
Why are we even taxing them in the first place? Why is it even classified as a luxury product? I don't understand. That's my struggle.
So for me, I think that
It beats
this
my
comes to
imagination. Why is it a luxury
industrialization.
product?
Local companies must be well empowered to be able to produce sanitary pads at a very low production cost,
Yes.
And then government, this is what I believe, government should be able to buy. I mean, government says that they give uniforms and sandals and exercise books and stuff like that to students.
Yeah.
Government is even prepared to give laptops, and
Yes.
government cannot give free pad.
Yeah.
You can give free laptop. You can't give free pad. Come on, what kind of conversation are we having here?
Yeah.
How can you tell me this story?
Yeah.
So for me, I think that government should be able to empower local manufacturing companies of sanitary pads and add it, if it means that give one, pack of sanitary pads
Every month.
To young girls,
every
in
month.
schools. If you can give exercise books, if you can give free school uniforms, if you can give textbooks, if you are thinking of giving laptops, I don't see why you can't give sanitary pads to the girls.
Yeah.
And this is where the conversation should start from.
Yeah.
Because removing the taxes, the Ghanaian people that we know will still sell at exorbitant prices. Why? We live in this country when the fuel prices come down, but lorry fares do not come down. And it becomes a
drivers
tussle.
resist.
And exactly, and that is what is going to happen. Are people going to go around to check the prices and all that? And mind you, we don't have the sanitary pads coming from one source.
No.
So we have sanitary pads coming from the UK, we have some coming from China, and the duties are different. So how are we going to manage all these in terms of tax removals and all that? For me, I think that government must empower local manufacturers to be able to do this, and they should be available. Supply and demand, and supply. If the sanitary pads are all over the place, I mean, nobody's going to pay so much
Yeah.
for sanitary pads.
No, I mean once the system is set up in such a way that, because I am looking at the fact that already across the African continent there's at least 5 nations that we know about who have, number one, removed all taxes, and number two, for children of school going age,
Exactly.
it's available for free. Do you see that thing? So what makes us struggle?
That is
Do you see
the
that thing?
issue.
Are we
You
better
know,
than the others on the continent? Forget about even those who are not on the continent, okay? Even when you look at this continent, you see people already doing it.
And really, I mean, apart from using it for what it's intended to be used
Yeah.
for, what else are we going to do with pads?
Yeah, exactly.
So just give it to the people. You know,
Yeah,
this is not something that
exactly.
people would want to
And
hoard and for anything. It's just
for me,
sanitary
the thing that
pad.
even blows my mind more than anything else is that it's not a matter of choice that a young lady or a woman, you know, has a monthly flow. It's not a choice. So
David,
why are we
you see,
struggling?
The thing
Anyway,
is, if government can, you know, buy past questions for students.
Yeah.
Look, I think that we are not paying attention to the important things. You
Yeah,
get it?
yeah.
And for me, I
You
just
want to
come
keep
back
girls
to...
in school. It's a very simple decision.
And the thing is, we are thinking of giving them laptops.
Yeah.
Laptops,
Yeah.
you get it? And we are not thinking of giving them free sanitary pads. Really?
A laptop that is $300, $400, $500 a piece.
Laptop that we don't even have power to electricity to power
in the
if we don't
village to
have
go in.
data, you know, to make it function and all that. We are thinking of doing this, and we can't give the young girls sanitary pads.
Oh, by the way, on a humorous note, do you know that people in Toronto are about to do what do they call the mayoral or
Yes.
gubernatorial election?
Oh no, I heard about 100
Their dog.
people, including a dog.
A dog
Yeah,
is
that's-
standing for mayor. Hey, yeah, say. Seriously, it's actually true. You can Google and check it.
Yeah, it's
a
there.
dog is standing. 102 candidates plus
Yeah.
a dog
Yeah.
are standing to be mayor of Toronto.
Well, maybe the dog can do a better job.
I wonder. Anyway, you know what? Let's go.
But
for
what's the
some
criteria
sports.
for registration and all that? Who qualifies to be
I
part
know,
of it?
right? Are they even registering? Because how would your dog register?
That's what I'm asking.
Maybe they're not registering.
So what are they doing?
I don't know. But the dog is in a race.
But what does the Constitution say?
Okay.
Is it a matter for living beings?
Living
You
beings,
understand?
yeah.
So a tree can even come.
Charlie, somewhere. Anyway, you know what? Let's time for sports review this morning. All right, so this morning on sports, we have Ghana news, lots of Ghana news this morning. Now they have the under-23 AFCON. Ghana's Black Meteors began their campaign with a 3-2 win over Congo on Sunday. Now the Meteors went 3 goals up through Enes Nyama and Emmanuel Yeboah, but the Congolese scored twice towards the end of the match to leave Ghana holding on for the win. Victory gives the Meteors top spot in the group on goals scored ahead of Morocco, who beat Guinea 2-1 in the other group game. Now, there's some other news. Now, Mohamed Kudus won the Footballer of the Year at the 5th Ghana Football Awards held at the Accra International Conference Center on Sunday. Now, Kudus enjoyed a very good season with Dutch side Ajax, and he was Ghana's brightest player in their 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Now, he held off competition from fellow Black Stars players Joseph Paintsel and Abdul Salih Samed to pick up the award for the first time. As far as Ghana's goalkeeper Shine Agbomadzi was the Women's Footballer of the Year after a successful year with the Moroccan side. Other winners on the night were Evans Adote, head coach of Mediama Sporting Club, Abednego Tete, and Princess Owusu for top scoring in the men and women's league campaigns, respectively. Mediama and Ampem Dakwan Ladies FC. Now, Sir Sam Jonah and Alberta Saki were given the Living Legend Awards for their contribution towards the development of Ghanaian football. And that's where we end the sports review this morning.